All right, guys. It is spring-like outside. Really warm. The snow's melting at a rapid rate. We got about 9 inches the other night, and now it's just disappearing. So, since it's feeling spring-like, I'm gonna get ready for spring. So, we're gonna start by working on everyone's favorite tractor, the 4320. Now, before we get out into the field this spring, and put the moldboard plow and the disc and the harrow and all that fun stuff on this tractor, I got to do some work to it. First thing, the starter. Now this post is kind of marred up, isn't it? That's supposed to be threaded. Yes, it is supposed to be threaded. This nut's got to come off. Everything on here is just not in the greatest shape. I believe this is the original starter that was on it. This tractor is a 1972. But yeah, this has been bad for a little while. I actually had a clamp on there just to hold it down, but it was really sketchy, and it was just enough to get through the season. So what I need to do is I have actually broken into this thing, and where this attaches, it's kind of over my head as far as getting that changed out, and I want it done right. Yeah, there are some things, actually a lot of things that I don't do myself. I'm not one lonely farmer. I don't do all that stuff myself. I just want it done right. I don't have half the experience he does, so. But that means I got to take this whole starter off. The side panel is just sitting down over here on the bale wrapper. But I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to send this out to get it worked on. Now, second things second, one of these hydraulic couplers, and I'm not sure if I can get you to see that, but there is a really, right here, if the thing will focus, which it won't, but there's a really nice little crack in here, and it's cracked all the way up to here. Now it's focusing, from here to here. So, I mean, there's a big chunk that's ready to come out of there. So, that all needs to get replaced, meaning I've got to pull this cover off of here with the toolbox and everything, and I got to pull these things out. My plan is to get a conversion kit to convert this from the John Deere proprietary coupler to the standard system, Pioneer, like what this is. And then I'm going to put a valve on here, a hydraulic multiplier valve, so that I can have 2 remotes, whereas I just have one before. Because this tractor only has 1 set of factory remotes, and then it's got this set that's aftermarket, but I do need 3 on here. So that's my plan with this tractor. That's going to occupy me this week, I guess. We're supposed to have temps up into the 60s. I don't know if it's going to hit 70, but it's a possibility. Well, the starter's out right there, but I found something inside of here. Alright, a little cavity where the starter turns the flywheel up in here. Found a bolt. Looks like that's been banging around inside there for a long time. I'm not sure where it came from, but those of you who watched my videos way back remember that this tractor had some work done to the clutch a few years back, and there was a bolt that came out of the clutch, and I don't know where this bolt is from. So it turns out that bolt was the one that came out of the clutch back in 2012, and it had been gone missing, and it was down there inside the clutch housing for the last 6 years. And it recently just happened to turn back up, and we did have a little bit of rattling in it at one point in the fall, and then it stopped. So apparently that bolt had fallen down back into the bottom, and it recently turned up again, but I'm sure glad I found that, because we would have had a major mess on our hands if that had rattled around some more and we would have had to split the tractor. And so the saga continues. Oh, and I also have a coolant leak in this engine somewhere. So I gotta figure that out. So I guess I got my work cut out for me before spring tillage begins. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see what happens.